methodologies, right? What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Are you ready? It's time!
Welcome back to another Tuesday night. Tonight is Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. We are back at it again for a Q&A night. Welcome. I already got a lot of my friends in the building. We got a lot of people. We got Yakar here already. We got Ferris here already. We have Trap and Slay here already. We have Operation Tech Takeover here as well. OTTO. Welcome, all my friends and family.
I appreciate you. We the best.
All right. So we're gonna get into our Q&A like we always do. Let me just do something really quick. Yakar, I was I was listening to. I'm a little late because I was listening to a little portion of what you sent me. I'm gonna have to listen to it a little bit more because it's very interesting. That's why I stay out of this stuff. I just do what I do and we keep it moving. But let me just do this right here. All right, let's do that. Boom. All right, let's get into the show. Welcome. All right, if you don't know who I am your host of the show and of the channel. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. Yes, we are. All right, so we are going to get into our agenda for today, and then we'll take a look at the chat, and then we will get into our questions. So first and foremost, as always, I always love to start the show like this. I want to thank all of the newest subscribers, those who are rocking with me, getting some value out of the information that I'm bringing. We focus a lot on technical information, on coding, on career development skills, and we don't really, and don't forget our economic analysis as well. We don't really focus on all the craziness that people are going on that don't bring any value to their life. We are all about bringing value, so that's what we're going to do.
Let's get it.
All right, so thank you to all of the newest subscribers, and thank you for those who have been with me for a very long time. I really appreciate you. And even like those who are so busy now that I don't get to talk to often, like Socks, like Don. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm trying to just try to keep in touch, and let's make things happen because we are here to win together. All right, and shout out to all of my tech barbarians, my tech prodigy members, my technical explorers who are getting so much information and value and putting in that work. Shout out to Tech Barbarian T, who had her first day on the job yesterday. First day on the job. Shout out to her, putting in that work as always. And I can't wait to connect to see how that first week went on the job. New field, new career. So we're making it happen. We are making it happen. All right. So let's get a little bit of housekeeping out the way. Let's go through our live show schedule real quick. Sunday afternoons, we were talking about Terraform. Software expiration, we're going through Terraform. Infrastructure as code. This past weekend, we implemented AWS Secrets Manager into our Elastic Beanstalk deployment. So we are getting closer and closer to going to production. So that's what the Tech Barbarians are working on. Tuesday nights, we do Q&A like tonight. Thursday nights, we have software explorations. This coming to, so last Tuesday, worked on Karate, did not enjoy it. I'm not a fan of the Karate API testing framework. This coming Thursday, we're going to be working on Swagger documentation using the auto generation. We did the manual generation like about 2 weeks ago. This coming Thursday, we're going to be working on auto gen for Swagger. And then we have our morning shows Mondays and Wednesdays around 8 a.m. on Mondays and 7:15 on Wednesdays. Coffee and Kata. We are working on news. So we check out the news and then we work on our mobile development. Yesterday, we took the app to the in Android, Google Play. We submitted it. We had it approved to go into closed testing, so we did that. Got 3 testers. It takes about 2 weeks to go through closed testing, so I gotta get up to 20 closed testers so that we can go to open testing before we can go to production. It's a process. I wonder if Apple's going to be that way. Probably because Apple's probably more strict than Google. I don't know. We shall find out as we go through the process. Hey, we are learning together, and I am having an exciting time doing it. And then Saturdays, our newest shows. We have the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show. And that's where we review our weekly numbers, where we're looking at economic data for like job market, consumer sentiment. The other day, we should do this we should do this bi-weekly or monthly, where we review the M3, which tells us, I believe it tells us how much total cash as a country that we have on hand. And then we compare that to the national debt. Last time we checked, we were $13 trillion in the hole. Did I say 13 trillion? What? Yes, $13 trillion in the hole. Like Trick Daddy said, I'm about my money. When I call, you better have my money. And I don't want us to get that call and we're like, I'm about 13 trillion short. Oh my God. How do you like anything else you could be short? You can't be short anything else, right? Because they will come out after and get you. But as a country, $13 trillion short, and we're like, hey, let's go spend more money. Let's go spend more money.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right. So that is our live show schedule. And, we're always exploring, we're always experimenting to see, okay, what can we do? What's working? What's not working? What can we do better? But this is a fan favorite, the Saturday morning show. And that's why I made a promise to Yakar and to Mitch that I'm not going to rush the Saturday morning shows like I did last Saturday, because I had a coaching call. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to extend it. I'm going to extend the time on my calendar. The show doesn't have to go for 2 hours, but I'm going to extend the time on my calendar for 2 hours so that we can make sure that we get through the economic data, and I do not rush Mitch and Yakar, because that's got to be their favorite show of the week, So that's the plan. All right, now let's jump into our pre-recorded content. Mondays, we have Candid Conversations. Yesterday, I asked you the question, what have you not started yet? What have you not started yet? Think about it. So many things we say we want to do, but then we procrastinate and we don't do it. We come up with all these excuses and we never get it done. So what have you not started yet? And whatever that is, get started. Let's set goals. Let's set weekly goals and say, okay, by next week, I'm gonna get this far. And even if you don't get that exact mark, at least you get a lot further than if you didn't. So that is the plan. And we can work on it together. Just drop me a comment and we'll encourage each other. We'll keep each other accountable. All right. Wednesdays, we have software explorations, concept and overviews. I just scheduled the premiere for tomorrow. This one, right? I am dedicating it to Mr. Lot and to Mitch. 2 people who are heavily involved in the data field, data analysts and data engineers. We are talking about, is data engineering worth looking into? Is it worth getting into? And we are going to go a deep dive into that. I am very fond of data engineering, but we're going to do a deep dive about what it is, what data engineers do, the type of tools that they use, all that good stuff, right? So tune in tomorrow at noon Eastern time as we go through that. But shout out to Mitch and Mr. Lot, some of my favorite people. All right, and then Fridays we have the Bug Bite, where we look at different industry bugs and news that's happening around the industry. Like we spend a little bit more time than we do on the Monday and Wednesday show. Like we'll focus on an article and see how is this either a bug, a vulnerability, a breach, a defect, or a change that a company's making. How does that affect the industry? And this coming Friday, we're going to be reviewing one that your car sent to me. You know, and that's how we work together. We grow together. Your car sent me an article about Microsoft deprecating VB script. Yes. Released in 1996, they are finally going to deprecate it 28 years later. So we're going to be reviewing that article and why it's important to not be stuck on one coding language, but to expand and always continue to grow. So shout out to your car for providing us that so valuable article and idea to review. And if you guys have any questions, any thoughts, any ideas, that's like when the Wealth Building Journey asked me about zero trust architecture. I never heard of that terminology before. Turns out I knew of the concept, but we did a full deep dive in it and we had a great video and it was very fun with a crazy example at the end. But that's what we do here. We have fun, but we also learn to level up. All right, and then throughout the week, we have clips from the Q&A show, as well as sometimes, like, I'm bad on the shorts. I'll be honest, I am bad on the shorts, but I'll think about those a little bit more, right? But that's the schedule, right? That's our pre-recorded content, that's our live show content, and if you have any ideas, any suggestions, any questions, I will make it happen for you, all right? So with that being said, do me a big favor. Go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live or drop new content. And if you are in need of additional exclusive content, like the video I just released on the Patreon, which talks about what I believe are some of the top tech skills and courses you should be looking into as you transition into tech. So like, for example, maybe learning Python and what course you should take for that. Getting familiar with Git possibly, right? So just little things like that. And then I'm going to be creating a video in there on, how to approach taking these coding classes as you're learning coding, how to approach taking them so that you can master you can master it. Because like, I don't want you to be getting stuck on things that you shouldn't be getting stuck on, because when something is new to you, you're not sure and you're just going all over the place. So that's another video that I'm going to be releasing soon, maybe in another week or two, so that I can try to provide as much value as possible. And if you are in need of one-on-one coaching, you can also sign up for a higher tier where we can work together, help you level up, help you build some experience in the field, and we can go from there, right? So that's www.techcoachralph.dev, and the link is also in the chat and pinned to the top of the description. So that's everything, right? That is our housekeeping for today. And let me check out the chat real quick.
I appreciate you.
Shout out to you, 876 Vlogs. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel.
We the best.
All right, let me go check out the chat real quick, and then I have a quick little, I used to call it icebreaker. I might call it jump off. I don't know. But let's go and check out the chat. So we got Ferris in the building, and your car said, check your Discord DM. Why they hating your boy? I might have to tell Mitch to go handle that. I don't want my VP of data getting into any trouble. All right. So the question: when did loyalty mean you are a bad person? You know what, your car? What's loyalty? What's loyalty? People will be loyal to you at 1 second, and then the next second it's like because if all right, let's put it like this, right? Let's say we were both driving, because I like to come up with these examples, right? So let's say we were both driving, I-95 north, and as we get into Georgia, you're like, oh, actually, I want to go towards Texas. I want to go towards Dallas, right? And I'm like, all right, I want to go hang out with Mitch in New Jersey. So if you say, all right, I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna take a bus, a Greyhound, or charter a private jet. Who knows? Your car, you're probably chartering private jets. I wouldn't be surprised. And now you go that way, and I keep going north, to go hang out with Mitch, play Mitch in basketball, maybe do some jujitsu, maybe give him a choke or two. And now we went in two different directions because we just had two different plans and two different initiatives. Does that mean that we are we're not loyal to each other because we just decided to go in two different directions at the time? Does that mean that we can never reconnect and work on something else again? I mean, I don't know. It's like people take everything so, I don't know. People take everything so personally and stuff like that. I don't know. I just I focus on the mission at hand, the task at hand, and how we can win. And I don't really dig into all that emotions and hurt feelings and stuff. You saw the shirt from yesterday's kind of conversation. Maybe I should put that shirt on, But whatever. I hear you. We got Trap and Slay in the building. What's up, Trap? Hope you are having a lovely night down here in South Florida. And Trap answers, says, loyalty is so rare that people think it's something foreign. What? And we got Mr. Operation Tech Takeover in the building, says, my guy. No, Operation Tech Takeover. You are my guy.
I appreciate you.
That's what I'm talking about. And your card says, Chasers assemble. All right. And we got Ferris in the building with the fire emoji. Says, bring her on for an interview on the channel. I might do that. Just, give me some time. Let's see. 13T or 33T. Refresh my memory. What are we talking about? I might have said something that I am not sure. All right. Let's see. So it says, let's get this bag. That's what I'm talking about. See, 876 Vlogs came in here with the right mindset. Let's go out there and get it. Your card says, that's our favorite show, and Tech Coach Ralph pressed the 1.5x on the whole show. You know what, your card? I might be rethinking that loyalty thing we just spoke about. No, but I do apologize. Like I was trying to get through it but you know what? I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna block more time off on the calendar, but we are at it again. And oh yeah, okay, got you. We are 33 trillion dollars. Last time we checked, it was like about a month ago. We are so now I remember what this was. We are 34 trillion dollars in debt. But like that's the national debt, right? According to the debt clock. But our cash on hand from the M3 information is 21 trillion. So we are in the hole. If I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, your car, but we're in the hole. Like if we had to like just pay it up today, we'd be in the hole by like, so it's like our net worth. Let's put it like this: our net worth as a country right now is negative 13 trillion. If I'm understanding, if I'm wrong, your car, please correct me. But from what I'm understanding is our net worth right now is negative 13 trillion. So it is what it is. And Fair says, I'd like to see you build a national debt calculator application similar to the U.S. debt clock. Yeah, and that was the site that we used on it was the U.S. debt clock that we used on the show to check it out, right? And we got, it says, thank God. Oh, you know what I thought about your car too? Like, and I did this. I was going at 1.5 without I had some coffee, but without any energy drinks, right? So maybe I really don't need energy drinks after all. And we got Mitch in the building. He says, take off the blazer, loosen up the tie. Superman is alive. And now we can get started with the show because Mitch is up and at it. And Mitch says, keep playing violins. You don't want this violence. Oh boy. See, Mitch comes ready every single time. We don't want to play that. We do not want to play that. All right. And So your car came for violence. It says, I need your help, Mitch. Without the glasses and take off the tie with rolled up sleeves, get some sun. We got people to pull up on. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. You know what? That one, your car deserves a.
It doesn't matter what you think.
That's how Mitch and your car gonna pull up, right? That's how they're gonna pull up in the Miami car. Not in Mitch's sports car. They're gonna pull up in the Miami car, the Miami and California car, because it's like, all right, we got some business to take care of. Y'all remember in what was that movie? Boys in the Hood. When they got in the car, 5 minutes later, Trey was like, let me out. You know, which is probably the smart thing for him to do, you know. But that's how it went, right? I got a couple of green bucks. Get them cleaned up. I'm retired from that life. Call me go. You guys are trying to get me in trouble. And Travis Slay says, I'm gonna let your car hold my Altima SRT Hellcat. That's what I'm talking about. That's we riding dirty in the Altima SRT Hellcat. That's, you see, and your car knows. Throw some D's on that. All right. So really quick. Let's talk about this real quick. All right. So you guys are so much fun. But let's talk about this real quick. I had a conversation today. I didn't spend too much time on it. But you know what? Typo. Let me fix that. They are preying on you. So it was a brief conversation. I'm going to continue it a little bit later. But I was talking to someone that I spoke to a few months ago. I'm going through cybersecurity, like boot camps and programs and stuff like that. And I just want you guys to be very, very, very careful, because they are preying on you, because they want. All right, so here's the deal. The time now, the job market now is very different than the job market was 2 years ago, because these companies had this PPP money, right? So they were just like hiring a bunch of people. But now the adults are back in charge, and they're like, all right, we have to make sure our spending is good. The inflation is going up, and we're being threatened. Yes, the companies are being threatened, saying that, hey, we know that you enjoyed this little. What is the corporate interest rate right now? Like 25%, 26%, something like that, right? Something like that. But they're trying to get us to pay 35, 40% again. And you know what that means? When that happens, only the strong will survive. Bruh. And they're gonna be like, all right, cool. You want us to pay 35, 40% interest rate again on our corporate earnings, including payroll taxes and all that other stuff? Well, we're just gonna go send the jobs overseas where we don't have to pay anything anymore. We just do that. But now, what's the point of this, right? So, but who's preying on you? Is it the companies that are preying on you? No, I don't think so. I think it's the people, these, influencers, these gurus and stuff like that, who they're giving bad advice. And what is one of the bad advice that I heard today, and it actually like kind of broke my heart, because they're like, all right, and see me, I am not the most familiar in the cybersecurity realm. I lean on Ferris for that. I lean on Socks for that. I lean on your car for that. whoever, like, who might have more insight on it, like when it comes to like certifications and stuff like that. And so they were like, okay, so they were telling me, like, yeah, I wanted to take the certification, but the mentor told me, oh, I should go for this certification instead because it's more popular and stuff like that. But then when they went and took it, it was like really hard. They didn't do well in it because everything that they saw in this higher certification, if they had took the first certification, if they went in the right order, then they would have known what they needed for the higher level certification. And they were like, yeah, I messed up, but that's because my mentor told me that I should do A, B, and C. I listened to them. I didn't listen to my instincts, which I can't fault the person for that, because if you are trying to get into the field and you're listening to people who are giving you advice that you're paying for every session, because you don't know, right? So like you're paying for every session and stuff like that, and now they're giving you like bad information. So the question is doing it fast the best way to go, or do you do like Trap is doing, like Trap and Slay is doing, is taking it slow, going to school, get the degree, and learn slowly and effectively. So that's why I'm like the people, because they're saying, okay, go and take this course, You're paying like $500 here, $400 here. Someone that I'm coaching is like, I'm studying for the Security Plus test, and I'm like, but they haven't even started like their core cybersecurity school yet. And it's like, why do you want it now? Oh, I think it'll help me, but help you with what? I'm not too sure yet. I'm like, you gotta slow down. If the school that you're going to go to is going to help you through your certifications, then why are you trying to rush it? Why are we always in a rush? See, and that's the part, and you know what? Because we always want to rush things, that's how we easily get preyed on. See, I understand some people, they aren't able to like go back and go to college and stuff like that, but it makes it a lot harder for you. I'll tell you that. If you're able to, and I'll tell you this, one of my tech barbarians, they are a truck driver, but they did a boot camp. They also went to school. They're like graduating college in October. Try to give themselves the best opportunity. So I think you have to, like, I think you need more than one insight, and like the same way you go to a doctor, you get a second opinion. You need to get second opinions. You need to get second opinions, because your competition, they've been at it. They've been planning for this since they were like 10, 15 years old. Sometimes even earlier. Sometimes since birth. Sometimes since birth, they already know their parents are guiding them in the way that they should go, so that once they get to that particular age, boom, like it's already set for them. There's no debate. There's no, oh, I feel like this, I feel like doing that, and then now you're like,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
so you got to slow down. Learn. You have to learn. So many people, they're so obsessed with certifications. And I'm like, all right, but do you know how to actually do the job? And they don't. And then now they have all these certifications and stuff, and then they come to me, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess we have to start at the beginning on, you need to learn A, B, and C. You're trying to do calculus when you're not even sure how to do a simple, I don't know, college algebra problem. I don't know. Or pre-algebra from 7th grade. I don't know. But they're preying on you, and they are like, because you don't know, they are going to try to get the most money out of you. And now you're not going to have the job. You're not going to have any money left over, unfortunately. But, come hang out with us. Come hang out with us. So many people reach out to me. So many people reach out to your car. Like, And always, we're always trying to give as much insight as possible. Like, we don't have all the time in the world to work with every single person, but at least try to steer you in the right direction. You know what I mean? So that is that, I'm just saying, be careful, get second opinions, third opinions, talk to people who are actually in the field, So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up that jump off. We're going to check out the chat real quick, and then we are going to get into our questions. It's hard out here. It's hard out here, but it's possible. But you got to put in the work. I always tell you, you have to be ready to work. On my list for last week's kind of conversation, what was the number one thing? Out of the top 5 skills, it was sacrifice. You have to be ready to sacrifice. Long nights, early mornings. It's going to be long nights, early mornings. A lot of studying, a lot of mistakes. And that's one of the reasons that I'm always tuning into Ferris's Python stream, because I'm watching the struggle that he's going through, but then he figures it out. And I'm like, and whenever he figures it out, I on my own soundboard, I'm like, shout out to Ferris, right? Shout out to Ferris. Now, there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy I'm just watching to wait for that. All right. So with that being said, let's get out of this. Let's get to our questions. Let me check out the chat real quick, and then we'll get into our questions for tonight. All right, we got Operation Tech Takeover says, bring back the bubble Caprice. I think it was like a 94 Caprice on 20s. I'm telling you, I'm from Miami. I am from Miami. All right, I'm from Miami. With 2, what would they call those again? Magflow exhaust. Oh my god, it was so fun. It was fun. And let's see. Mitch says they aren't preying on you. They are preying on you. Bars. And Ferris says offshoring. Hey, that's what's gonna happen. Hospitals are even going bankrupt. It's crazy. Did I tell you? Uh-oh. We got a bomb. We got a bomb happening over here.
I appreciate you.
All right. I'm going to get to that shortly. Let's go through the chat real quick, and then we'll address the bomb that just happened. Yeah, I mean, did you hear the other day about the nurses that want to work remotely? I'm telling you, those are going to get AI generated as well, or go over to other countries. I'm just telling you, you're making it so easy. And Ferris says back to China and Vietnam. Yup. And your car says, yo, the Philippines answers the customer service for Best Buy now. I almost lost it. I was so pissed. I kept calling back until I got someone from the US. Oh my goodness. You see, y'all don't get your car mad. I can't have an angry your car, right? And Ferris says, in that scenario, it's situational. If you want to go to school, just go for computer science, get something easy like Security Plus, but it takes a while to get a job, or so CISSP, and be in demand for and be in demand even for entry roles. Yeah, I mean, it's all about strategy, and that's one thing I'm big on is strategy. What is the best way to get from point A to point B? And it's like I try to be like Google Maps, not Apple Maps, because does Apple Maps even still exist? Anyway, I digress. ADD kicking in, right? But Google Maps, how you can say, okay, I want to take the road that's the fastest way to get there. I want to take a road with no tolls. I'm like, all right, what are our strategies? What are our options? Can we afford the tolls? Can we do this? Can we do that? So very, very good comment. And your car says Trap and Slay is on the slow plan, but since Big Bro Tech Coach Ralph and me are helping, it's more like 1.5 speed, like Rob does on Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate Show. Oh, that started off so well, and then it ended up with the oh. And Junior, welcome, Junior, welcome. And I checked out Junior's channel the other day, and he is doing some 3D printing. I hit up my cousin. I'm like, hey, do you still have that 3D printer? We need to try something out. Because my cousin has a 3D printer, and he has never used it yet. And I'm like, what's up with that? I'm like, we're gonna have to put something to the test for the 3D printer, right? But Junior says that's a great question. I was reading the Bible, and the progress for them took years, but we want it in days. To be fair, Junior, from my understanding, that trip was supposed to take about 40 days, and they took like 40 years, something like that. I forgot exactly. I think it was 13 days, 40 days. It was supposed to be a fast trip though. But all right, we got Mitch says, because we are always behind, that's why people are comparing their real life to fake life on social media. Okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Ferris also hits us with in cyber, college isn't really needed or boot camps unless you have no direction. CISSP is basically a bachelor's degree equivalent as a certificate. Okay, that's good to know. But it's probably like really hard to get that CISSP. Didn't you say like it takes like 5 years to be qualified to get the CISSP? Could be wrong, but I think you had said that. You hear this with what's up, family? What's up, Junior?
I appreciate you.
And your car says, Ferris, that's the bottleneck that makes people want to go to do boot camps, needing the experience and the know-how instead of earning it and getting better as you go along. And that's the number one issue that I always find, right? Is that they'll go and they'll take a boot camp or something like that, and then they have nothing, like, other than they don't really know how to do the job, they have nothing to show for it either. So like now they're like, oh, why won't these companies give us a chance? I'm like, companies aren't charity. Companies aren't charity. They like, it is so, I made the video the other day. It is so expensive to hire that if you were put in the position that the companies were put in with you had the money, you would be even more picky. You'd be even more picky. So, I mean, how picky are we when we just going to buy something simple? It's not like we're going to Red Lobster, you get all you can eat shrimp. Shout out to Red Lobster going bankrupt. Now and then they saturated the market. So now you could be highly qualified for a position, but there's like 10,000 applications for that one position. And now you can never get, you'll never be seen because it's like so hard to go through the filter. It's tough. It is tough. All right. And Junior says, that's true. Just looks good on paper with all those degrees and can't apply any of it in real life. Exactly. It was just like the little Jimmy Skip on the college dropout, right? All those degrees to keep him warm. And Ferris says it's really situational and nuanced. I'd say projects off YouTube, HTB, Sec Plus, and networking at events is the safest route. I don't know. I don't know, Ferris, because you got a degree in cybersecurity. I don't know, because maybe for cybersecurity, but for most other things nowadays in 2024, that doesn't work that easily. And that's why I say, like, team up, build something. I think I said it in the video last week. Team up, build something, put it out there so that you can have something to talk about. You have to do something that other people aren't doing. And it's someone that I've never spoken to before. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel, Laura.
I appreciate you.
It's hard out here to know who's legit and not. Thanks for keeping it real. It is my pleasure. And I agree. It is hard. It's hard. But talk to many people. One thing I say is, like, try to connect with people in the field on LinkedIn and stuff like that. But it is hard. It is hard. I don't know. My number one thing is, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. And I would say if more people would have that mindset of this, like, if you're telling me I can get a job making $100,000 after a 4 to 6 weeks boot camp, it's probably too good to be true. Probably too good to be true. And I would say, And then you come to someone like me where I'm gonna and I say, yeah, you don't like, yeah, you did this program, but you don't have the skill. And it's all right. So I need you to go on. I need you to go to check out this branch on Git. You're like, what's Git? You're probably not there yet. You have some skills, but like to work in a work environment, and that's why I always talk about all the nuanced parts, all the other details, because you might have the skills to do like web development, software engineering, but do you know how to work within a team? Something I was saying the other day is that I think I was saying on Ferris's stream is that these companies don't teach you, or not companies, these programs. For example, if you're learning software engineering, they don't teach you about testing your software, you're testing your code, writing unit tests. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to get hired, because if you don't know how to write unit tests, like unless you're a recent college graduate, but even those recent college graduates know how to write unit tests, right? So, I understand the pain, I understand the struggle. All right, let's keep going. And I definitely appreciate y'all taking time out helping us. It is my pleasure. Difficult in these tech streets, that is true. And Yakar says, anything you can do and fail a lot without the audience is best before you get into the actual field. I totally agree. That's a fact. Yep, that is true. And we got your car, with the bomb. Car says, your car gifted 5. If you got a membership from your car, go ahead and thank your car. Because
I appreciate you.
Let's
get it.
He is always dropping these bombs on us, right? We really, if you got a gift from your car, just please let your car know. Say thank you. Say thank you to your car, right? Let them know that you really appreciate it, right? And Ferris says your car is cooking. Mitch says your car. Let me hold something. Oh my goodness. All right. Mitch says your car. I'm fighting for my life. Ralph definitely extra. Oh, I am a little old. Right? And he says, I'll order you some Voss glass bottles so you don't die of thirst. Oh my. See? Fairness. All right, let's see. All right. Anything else? Let's see. It's 40 years was the punishment because of unbelief. That's what it was, right? And let's see. It says your car can't be promoting these companies anymore. I told Rob the other day we are not getting our sponsorship. That is a good point. And it says the women were giving the directions, so we were. Oh my goodness, your car! You're trying to get me in trouble here. Let's see. It says we need to reach out to the ad department and see about the revenues per click and order. That's a fact. And Fair said the CISSP is the cream of the crop. Danger is getting it early with no work experience. Might just make you look bad. Chicken and the egg situation. Scaling is important. See, that's true, and that's why I don't really talk much about cybersecurity. Like that's why I'd bring Don and Socks, but they're super busy right now. I'm gonna try to get them back on. It's hard, but we are doing what we do. And he says, I know we be giving these companies free promo, especially when I mention that when Mitch mentions it, it just goes viral, viral. And it says, I printed so many pew-pews on that printer and all different kinds of things. I'm looking into creating files now so you can make and print simple parts to fix things at home. You need to put out more content, Junior. You need to put out more content. Okay. I stand corrected. Ferris said he got his degree after his job. All right. And it says he said safest. That's why he's correct. The most profitable route is a whole different story. And the real is back. Okay. And oh my goodness, a lot of comments today. All right, so I'm gonna stop at this comment. I'm gonna stop at Trap's comment, and then we'll get back to it. Right. So Mitch says most people get those jobs after boot camps already had some type of skill. That is true. That's what they don't tell you. Oh, they're preying on you, is what you're saying. They're preying on you. And Trap says, I'm in a Black woman cybersecurity group, and I see that so much in there. All right. Let's get to it. So I'm gonna pause right here, and then we're gonna get to our first question, and then we'll continue with the chat because we're already an hour into it, right? We're already an hour into it. But guess what? I don't have any calls after, so we can stay and we can answer all the questions for tonight. All right. So let's get into it for tonight. And
Another one.
so somebody asked me in a comment, do you have an example of an identity and access management project? And that comment was from, I really don't know why. I don't know why, but my top video on the channel is the identity and access management engineer video. Why? I don't know, but hey, I'm not fighting it, right? But they asked, do you have an example of an identity and access management project? So I started our clock on this one. And I had an idea in mind for identity and access management project. I didn't know how doable it was. So I did some research online, and what I always do, I Google it. You see me Google all the time. And I searched for example identity and access management projects. Not too many came up, but one of them that came up, which I posted in the comment of that video, was pretty much you'd go to your desired platform of choice, whether it's a Microsoft Azure, whether it's Google Cloud Platform, whether it's AWS, and you would start to create users and stuff like that, create policies, all that good stuff, and you would set up map out your policies. So approach it as an identity and access management engineer. And map out your policies, who gets access to what. So my thought was behind this. This is what I was thinking when I was thinking about this, which is pretty much what they were outlining in the tutorial / video. Is all right. So my idea is remember we talked about gamifying your workflow. So you're gonna have to gamify it. You say, okay, I just got hired for a company where I am doing the identity and access management, and this company. Give it a name. I don't know. Let's say the coolest company in the world. I don't know, whatever. Or make it a real company. Say, oh, I just got hired by Tesla, for instance, right? And I have like the accounting department, I have the software engineering department, I have the QA department, I have the marketing department, I have the C-level department, I don't know, the customer support department, whatever. And let's say you have a total of like 5 departments and you have 4 employees for each department. So that means you have to create 20 users and you're going to have to assign them to a department. And now you configure the permissions for that department. And a good idea is also to start with zero trust architecture that we spoke about. So we're saying, all right, what is like, nobody has any rights. No company has or no departments have any rights. And now, what rights do these departments need? What rights do these individual people need? Because a junior developer isn't going to have the same rights as the manager or the CTO or stuff like that. Maybe you have a tier saying, all right, there's the policy for the engineering department, where they all have these least amount of rights, let's say read rights. And then you have the managerial tier where they have maybe write access. I don't know. And that way for the managers, they would get who are in engineering, they would get the engineering rights as well as the manager rights. And then the other ones, like the regular software devs, junior devs, regular devs, they would get the whatever it is for the engineering rights. And then you do that for the other departments as well. And then you can also say, all right, which might take some extra knowledge on knowing like the different parts of AWS, but say, okay, what can they access on AWS? Saying, all right, this user can access here, that user can access here. Just figure that out. Right? It's gonna take some research. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be very, very worth it. It's gonna be very worth it. And to me, that is one strategy that I would employ. And then you have to do that for all the teams, all the departments. You have to create some levels. You know, a level of like a hierarchy of like the manager level, like I was saying, that the manager hierarchy, but then there's departments as well. And that way you can practice it. It's the closest that you can come to doing it without actually having working for a company. But another idea, real quick, is if you get onto a project with, like, let's say you get a 5 people project where you guys are building some type of application. Let's say you have a software developer, you have a QA person, you have a UI UX person, you have a I don't know, a marketing person, whatever, and you just create permissions for them in your AWS or whoever's AWS or Google Cloud platform, and that way you actually have real permissions set where they can log in and they say, okay, you don't have access to this, you can have access to that. And then you have to test it. You have to test it by logging into these users to make sure that they have the adequate permissions that you set up for them. And the thing is, you don't even really need to be using an actual email address, because you can set up users on your platforms with usernames and passwords, and you'd have all those usernames and passwords. And then a step up from that, after you can do that, then you Terraform it. That right there is what's going to make you stand out, because if you can figure out how to use Terraform to set up your users and your permissions and your policies and all of that, so now we get into the realm of standing out. That first part is going to be the basic on learning how to do identity and access management. Taking it to Terraform is what the companies are now looking for, because infrastructure is code. Automating your workflow is what's going to help you level up and stand out at that point. So that is my example. You guys let me know what you guys think about it, because like I said, I am not the most in-depth cybersecurity person, but I have used identity and access management, because I'm always in AWS. You guys see me use it. Creating users, creating permissions, all that good stuff. So that would be a strategy that I would employ if I wanted to get a little bit more hands-on with identity and access management. All right. So that is that question. All right. So we're going to jump into our next question. Then I'll check the chat and then we will go from there. But let me know what you think. And then as I get to it, I will check that out and we can have a conversation about that. But that's my strategy. Like I said, I am a strategist. All right. Let's get into our next question.
Another one.
So this question says, what are the pros of using Playwright over Selenium? So it says, my company is starting the process of using Playwright and replacing our Selenium test. Any tips on what you think about Playwright? I always hear how it's better, but curious as to why. I've been using Selenium the last 4 years and haven't touched Playwright yet, but I plan to start learning it soon. All right, so let's start our timer. Get some water too. So I've used Playwright on this channel, where we are doing different automations, comparing it to Selenium, to Cypress, and all that good stuff. And it's the pros, I would say, of using Playwright is that it has a lot of things that Selenium should have built in. It already has it built in, right? So, for example, being able to run in debug mode, it runs by default in headless mode. You can run it in a headed mode where the browser pops up and stuff like that. And it has by default embedded wait times in there, so that one of the drawbacks of Selenium is that when you go and click on something, if the page isn't like fully loaded yet, it can like try to go ahead of time, and then it can't find certain elements. Inside of Playwright, it is already embedded in there, so it's going to do the necessary wait times, and so it's just a little bit more, because it's a much newer than Selenium. They thought of some stuff that at the time they were building Selenium, they couldn't really think of them at the time, and the problem is that it would be much harder to implement those things into Selenium. Another reason that Selenium doesn't have all these things embedded is that it is very, other than, like, not only that it's open source, but it is very adaptable to different languages, where you can plug and play it with different frameworks and different testing libraries and stuff like that. But the newer thing is like, all right, this runs faster, it's less flaky, all of that good stuff. But one of the limitations that I have with, and it's not that big of a limitation because, is that how expandable and flexible that Playwright might be. And what do I mean by that? So what I mean is that with Selenium, they build other applications on top of it. They build other frameworks on top of it. So for example, Appium, if you need to do like mobile testing, like on actual devices or connecting to what do you call it? To connect to like a device farm, AWS device farm, or a Sauce Labs or a browser stack. It's not like, it's kind of those applications and packages are built on top of it. So it's a lot easier to do that. With Playwright, that is not something like you can't really do mobile testing on Playwright. So if you need mobile testing, if you need to run in a remote browser, that's not like, from what I've seen so far, that's not really happening yet. It might come out in the future, but it's just not something right now. So that to me, that is one of the limitations of Playwright. Now, you know, I also have to be honest with you. I have to say, shame on you. Shame on you. Why have you never used Playwright yet? I'm sure you've heard of all the hype behind it. You've been doing automation for the past 4 years now using Selenium. Why have you not gone and explored Playwright? Because now because the company has made a decision, your department has made a decision to move from Selenium to Playwright, and you are behind. See, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I like to be the pioneer. I like to go first. And I like to say, okay, I would want to be the one to make the recommendations to the company on, is going to Playwright a good thing or a bad thing? What are the pros of Playwright? What are the cons of Playwright? I don't want them to tell me, because now I'm playing from behind. I don't want to play from behind. I play for keeps. What movie was that from? Was that from Talladega Nights? I play for keeps. I want to be the one to do the research, make a decision, share it, answer the questions. When I don't know something, go ahead and research it. But now the decision is made, and now you have to catch up. You might have some good Selenium. See, me, I can go, like, I feel confident going into Cypress. I feel confident going into Playwright. I feel confident going into Selenium. Because those are the major players right now. See, Cypress isn't as, like, so a lot of people use Cypress, but it's not as prevalent as Playwright is getting the market, because Playwright, it goes across many different languages. Java, Python, I think they have one for C#, Ruby. But why are you now, after the company made the decision that you haven't touched it yet? See, me, even when I don't use things all the time, I still say, all right, let's do an exploration on it. Let's see how it works. How easy is it to pick up? I did it in Python. I did it in Java, in JavaScript. I haven't done it in Java, but I've done it in JavaScript. And like I said, I have to scold you a little bit. Should have did that a long time ago. All right? But that is my thoughts on the pros of using Playwright over Selenium. There are some pros, but there are some cons as well. So do not forget the cons. All right? That being said, let's wrap that up. All right, let's go to the chat to see what my people are talking about. And so, all right, let's see. The real is back to Tech Coach Rob. You guys are too much. And we got Slimmy in the building. Q&A with Tech Coach Rob, the genius. What up, crew? What's up, Slimmy?
I appreciate you.
Gonna be looking out for you guys later tonight on the channel. What's going on, Slimmy? Always happy to hear from you. And says, what up, my chopped liver? So silly. So silly. All right, we got Sydney Savage in the building. Welcome, Sydney. How are you doing? First time talking. We got some new faces in the building.
I appreciate you.
Sydney Savage says, 6 months bootcamp grad here. I made it to the third round of interviews, but they went with a more experienced candidate. I don't know how to demonstrate my skill set. So far, I'm freelancing on UTest. I have a question for you about that because some people have asked me about UTest, and I've seen the platform, but I've never tried to get anything on there. Like, are you getting opportunities? Are you getting to practice what you learned on UTest? I'm just curious because I haven't really spoken to many people who have actually used it, so I'm curious. And as well, Sydney, reach out to me. You can send me an email at Ralph@techcoachingwithralph.com, or if you're connected to me in any other way, like leave me a comment on the video and we'll reach out because I'm curious to hear about what's going on, and we can try to figure something out. But please reach out to me. I'm curious to hear about your experience and how we can help. And it says, Trap says, I want an ice machine. Do you like to chew to crunch ice, Trap? Do you like to crunch ice? I heard some people like to do that. Let's see. And it says, let's see what else. The card says he doesn't like chopped liver, so maybe I guess Mitch is not chopped liver because the card doesn't like it. All right, so we got says there was a learning curve, but are you referring to the 3D printing? I really want to use that. And says, did you ask for feedback? I doubt, I doubt people that they're gonna give feedback because I forgot where it was, but someone said, oh, it was on LinkedIn. I saw it when someone was saying, oh, they don't give feedback, and one of the comments was, yeah, but if you give feedback, what if they try to challenge that feedback? So I can see why companies wouldn't be giving feedback. I remember somebody though in an interview asked me, asked me a particular question about how I did it, and I told them, but I didn't give them exact saying, oh, because that you're disqualified because I just said, this, look into this, look into that. But it was kind of general feedback in that sense. Let's see. So Junior says he will be back later. Bible study time. Enjoy your Bible study. And let's see. Says, what is Trap doing in here? Let me find out. She's a genius. Trap is a genius, all right? Trap is a genius. And we are, Slimmy. I have a question. I have to hold you accountable, Slimmy. Did you start the Python course yet? Because I told Trap about it the same day, same night. She got the course and she started. Have you started the Python course, Slimmy? I'm watching you, Slimmy. I'm watching you. Let's see. And like I was saying, she's learning. Started school for cybersecurity soon. And just what, Trap. This is what makes you a genius because you decided to go and do it. You didn't procrastinate. Says, I'm doing it, and we are gonna run it up. We're gonna run it like your car said. Bag chasers assemble. All right. And it says, Elon Musk hired me to grow his funds. I get stocks and benefits. Your car talking about Elon Musk. I heard a crazy story. You know how they are some shareholders or something like that or board members or something like that are blocking his pay for $65 million or 65. How much is it 65 billion? I don't know. Whatever, it's 65 something, right? Either million or billion. Maybe it's billion. But I heard back in 2018 when he agreed, when he negotiated his compensation plan, it was that he would take zero pay, and the pay would be contingent on in 6 years or something if he took Tesla's valuation from whatever it was at the time to something billion, and now they're fighting his pay. That's and the only reason that they're able to is because of a judge in Delaware. Shout out to Delaware. In one place, in one city, you have the most biased jurors, and another one, you get a bunch of addicts and stuff like that who seem to be favoring the other. Things are weird. I'm just saying things are very, very weird right now. It's I don't know. When I heard about the jury in Delaware, I was like, what in the world is going? Hey, Is justice blind? Is justice blind? It depends if you can afford the shades for the Lady Justice. All right. And Farrah says, yes, like $750 for the certificate and $200 for the retake eligibility. Compared to a degree, it's not bad. Bachelor's with 15 certs at WGU would be like $5K in 6 months with the right preparation. All right. And it says, Farrah, study up on that 1K. I can cash app you when you're ready. Just be so prepared that you won't need the retake. Hit me up on Discord. You see? Your car is the man, right? Like, your car is the most supportive person that I've met. Always pushing me to do better. Always like answering everybody's questions, dropping links to streams. Like, that's why, and that's why I feel terrible. I feel terrible for rushing Saturday's show. It will never happen again. And guess what? Your car's out there in California. That means he's 3 hours behind me, and he wakes up early, and I rush his show.
Bruh. Congratulations. You played yourself.
I'm a terrible person. Your car, Mitch, please, more your car. Mitch, but your car, please accept my apology, all right? Please accept my apology. I would never let it go, right? So, Sydney says, no, I think I was lacking in explaining the QA projects I did in technical terms with confidence. When I left the interview, I heard one guy say just what I needed. Another, God, was this interview in person? Oh my God, that's harsh. Oh my God, that hurt me. Like, that doesn't need to be said, right? That doesn't need to be said. But actually, I take that back, right? I have to take that back. I think it's good that you heard that, Sydney, because if they didn't say that, you wouldn't really know exactly where you stood and where you are, and that you need to do some more work. Hit me up, Sydney. Hit me up. Because the people I work with, like we do projects and stuff like that we put out there. But yeah, that's what do they call that? It is brutal honesty. Although you weren't searching for it, but it was brutal honesty. I think that was actually needed to be heard, so you can see what they actually think about you. Because a lot of times you won't even hear that, and they'll just say, "Oh no, we find somebody with more experience." Yada yada yada. But they thought that your skills were on the level of intern. And the third interview is more like when it's getting more technical. You might get the first one I'm not sure how your interview process went, but you might get the first one with the recruiter who's giving you details about the job. Then you might get the hiring manager, and then, like, at least for when I interview people, then they give you we give you a project to do, and then I review the project, and then I say, oh, do we want to talk to this person or not? And sometimes I'm like, the project wasn't good. And then, but if we do talk to them, and then we say, no, like they didn't really, they were missing on this, and this, or whatever. So I think it was actually a good thing that you heard that brutal feedback, that honest feedback, although you were not asking for it. But I hear you. It says, let's go. I just hate when Selenium doesn't run with WebKit. That is a good point. I have to look into the WebKit part, because I know Playwright does work with WebKit. It's like built into WebKit, but I know that I've done because when I do Selenium, I mostly use it with Chrome and with Firefox. But yeah, also another thing with Selenium is that it can handle a lot of different browsers and stuff like that, because it uses drivers. It says funny thing, we were talking about Egypt and Egypt to Canaan, and that's what the study is on tonight. I'm in numbers 13 and 14. That's hilarious. That is funny. It says, let's see. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. Well, Ricky Bobby's dad, but Ricky Bobby. Oh my goodness. We have McColl's Wellness in Motion in the building. It says, blessings to all. Blessings to you as well, McColl. How are you doing tonight? So happy to have you here as always. Oh, so appreciated. And let's go. We are in good spots. All right. Everyone is welcoming McCall. Everyone, say hi to McCall, man. Say hi to McCall. So Ferris says, "Wait, Elon was working for zero this entire time. Never knew that. He's really grinding, considering he would sleep at work too." Now you see why. Now do you see why he pushes employees so hard? So that was the story. But I heard that. So I heard, because they were in California. The story that I heard, and I heard this on the PBD podcast, right, was that because of California's minimum wage law, he was forced to take a. Oh my goodness. Marie, welcome Marie to Tech Mercenaries. Barcode, welcome. D, welcome D. Oh my goodness. Another bomb. Oh, I need to get a bomb soundbite. But we'll address that bomb in a little bit. Yeah. So I heard he had to take like a minimum wage. So he was getting like paid $30,000 salary for that amount of time, and now they're holding up his pay. And your car asks, Slimmy, huh? Did you, Slimmy? Did you? Slimmy? Slimmy? We're wondering. We are wondering. And says Elon. So Mitch says Elon Musk might be getting in trouble. He gave bad news after he sold his stock. Elon Musk can afford these troubles, all right? And Nicole says, say what? How are they gonna do you like that, Mitch? Doing pretty good, just busy with data analytics search. Shout out to McCole, one of my data people. Hey, while we have McCole here, Mitch, did you see what I said at the beginning of the show? Tomorrow's premiere for our software explorations is going to be about data engineering. Shout out to all my data people, my data scientists, my data engineers, my data analysts. You guys. And I also have a little example at the end of that video too, right? I want to give a little preview about it, but it's about sports, all right? It's about sports. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But it's gonna be an amazing video tomorrow. You definitely want to check it out. Tune in for that video tomorrow. We're gonna have a lot of fun talking about data. Who would think data could be so much fun? But make sure you check it out, right? And it says most CEOs take a dollar salary. It's not uncommon. They take profits after everyone else is paid, and they get because they get paid on their bonuses, their what do you call that other thing? The stock options and stuff like that. So they have to meet certain things, definitely true. And he says he is Tesla. Without Elon, the company is just another GM. Yep. Your car says apology accepted. Thank you. You know what? Thank you, your car. Thank you. It says, see the hate that I get. As long as he didn't say something else, we would have rolled him on. That's too funny. All right. It says that makes sense. To your car's point, he is Tesla at the end of the day. So yeah, I can see the strat now. Yeah, I mean, so when they tell you that, they got paid all this money, it's not necessarily base pay. It's but that's how they get you. That's how they get you. They're like, the like this CEO, they're getting like, $50 billion or $50 million in pay. It's like, but then when you actually break it down, you're like, oh, that's what it is. But someone has to take the brunt of it, right? So McCall says, doing pretty good. Survived the horrific Dallas storms. I am so happy to hear that you are doing good, McCall, because that was scary. That I heard a lot of power outages and stuff like that. The Midwest has been getting it. Midwest and Southwest, they have been, or just the South. Dallas is just, or Texas is just the South, but it's been rough out there for you guys. So I'm happy that you're doing a lot better over there, right? And of course, we got your car dropping bombs again on us. And you know what? We're gonna give this one this time. We're gonna.
Oh, yeah!
Thank you, your car. Always appreciate it. All right. So let's see. Let's see where we're going. If you say my name, I'm suing. I didn't get a contract. Hey, remember you have the non-compete, Mitch. The non-compete, and see that's what I'm talking about, McCall, right? Calling out your car by name. Shout out to your car. Always so generous and kind, gifting membership. Ballin'. I have to get that soundbite. Ballin'. But yes. All right. Let's get to our next question. If you haven't done so yet, do me a big favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. And if you are in need of one-on-one help, go over to www.techcoachralph. I have videos on strategies. You can get a coaching plan and we can work together. So many different things because I want to see you win. You don't have to be on the outside looking in, but it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice. But hey, if I see you're willing to sacrifice, then I will sacrifice my time for you as well. And we're going to run it up. We are going to run, your car, we need a soundbite for running it up. Is there anything for running it up? We need to figure something out for that because we're going to run it up, right? Oh, wait 1 second before we get to the next one. We got Antonio Watkins in the building. It's hard to get a signal in the mountains, but I'm here driving, truck driving. That's what I'm talking about. And Antonio Watkins, are you still watching that video? Is it still sinking into you? Because we're waiting for you to move to the next level, right? To the next step, right? So keep on working, keep on getting it in. But we're here for you. We are here for you, right? So let's get to our next question of the night. So the next question goes here.
Another one.
What? Hold on. What are we doing here? There we go. What was your cue to leave? You know what? I'm just going to start that one over again because when we clip it up, we don't want this stuff happening. All right, so let's do it, right? Let's go.
Another one.
So, what was your cue to leave? I've been at a job for about 10 months now, and I have been incredibly unhappy most of the time. I was working as a lead on one big project which just wrapped. I got a lot of praise and pats on the back. Oh, that's so cute. Which has sort of confused me on whether I should leave this job I have enjoyed, but I am good at. But the pay is also quite sad. What moment, advice, or headspace did you need to get to in order to feel confident saying, peace out? Or do you never feel 100% sure and just take the leap? Well, here's the deal when it comes to leaving jobs, all right? Let's start a timer. So, number one, many people will tell you, oh, just leave and it'll make you look harder and stuff like that. And that, maybe God will provide or something like that. And I always think, you know what? But maybe God provided you this job. Maybe you had to go through a little bit of fire in order to get good, get strong, get familiar with the position, with the job, get the experience that you need. You're unhappy. So you're unhappy. Well, you know how I feel about that, right? Your feelings, right? So if you're like, what is it that you're unhappy about? See, happiness is just a feeling. Like me, I could be unhappy doing anything, or I could be happy doing it. It's a choice. And that's why I think it's important to also gamify your workflow. Make it challenging. So now you have all these people who are giving you praises and pats on the back, telling you, oh, you did a good job. And now you say, I want to leave. Why don't you leverage that opportunity? Why don't you leverage that opportunity? So you can, okay, well, now that I did a good job on this big project, what else can I do? What other opportunities are waiting for me that I can take the lead on? Because 10 months at a job and you want to leave already, I think you should be looking for more of like the 3-ish year mark. Unless you find a better opportunity in the process, then go. But what makes you happy at a job or unhappy at a job? That's my question. What makes you happy or unhappy at a job? See, me, I've always been in the mindset of whatever it is that I'm doing, I want to be the best at it. I want to be better than all these other people. My first job, and I can't really say I had this mindset at 16 years old, but my first job was I was working at a park as a park attendant. And what we'd have to do is for the baseball games, or there was the high school baseball game or the little league baseball games, we'd have to prepare the baseball field for them. And we'd have to like water the clay, rake between the base from first base to second base to third base, from third base to home. And working out in the sun, working after school. But that was a job. And I got paid for it. I'm like, cool. And like, oh, did I like it? Did I not like it? I wanted money. And that was it. And then as I got into working in the field, starting off in tech support, I answered phones. I can't even count how many phones I answered per day. It was, and I worked from, I went to school in the morning. From school, I would stop by home, and then I would drive up from Travis is gonna know this drive. It was from North Miami. So I went to school at Pembroke Pines. Went back home to North Miami, drove from North Miami to Commercial Boulevard to Fort Lauderdale, and worked from like 3 p.m. in the afternoon to midnight to drive back home down to Miami. Answering phones, doing technical support. And I was like, well, and I took the opportunity to learn about DNS, about email configuration, about web hosting. And till this day, I still use it. But if I was like, oh, I don't like talking to people on the phone. I don't like because I don't like talking to people on the phone. But that was probably one of the most important jobs that I ever had. Because it helps me being able to communicate to this day to whoever I'm talking to on a team. Not being like I could be a lot more nervous. So I think it's the mentality that you approach it as. And I'll say like my cue to leave though. My cue to leave is when my cue to leave anything is when I am going in a different direction as whether it's like a manager or the company or whatever the case may be. Whenever I see like, okay, we're going in different directions, the way that I think we should go, we're not going that way. Now, all right, cool. Let me go out and what's the saying? Go where you are appreciated, not where you're tolerated. You know what I mean? And even like, and just because you're leaving doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on bad terms. Like the example that I gave earlier today, right? When I was saying that, all right, let's say your car and I are going up I-95, and your car, like as we get into Georgia, your car's like, oh, I have to go, like I need to go over to Dallas for some reason, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I need to go hang out with Mitch in New Jersey. So we go separate ways. Doesn't mean that we're upset with each other or nothing. It's just we're going in different directions for the time being. So I don't think it's about like not enjoying. I think you can enjoy anything that you're doing. You can enjoy anything that you're doing if you don't make it about, you make it about yourself. And what can I get out of this? What can I learn? How can I have fun doing it? And you go from there. So that's my thoughts about it. Like your cue is when you're going in different directions, but you better make sure that the direction you're going in is the right direction. Because if not, you don't want to be like, because right now they say the grass is green on the other side, right? But the water bill is also a lot more expensive. And I don't want you to go and leave after 10 months and then you are left on the outside and you're like,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
And then you're like,
I hate it here. I want to go home.
see what I mean? And then we're going to be like, that sucks. That sucks you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right. So that was that question. When is your cue to leave? Whenever you're going in different directions, right? Whenever you're going in different directions, right? So let me check the chat real quick, see what we got. We got a new favorite in the building. All right, so we have Trap says the run it up soundbite should be a Jeezy let's get it ad lib. That would be awesome. You know, I had a Jeezy ad lib like last year. And you know it wasn't a copyright strike, but it was like a copyright thing it was like a 5-second clip of Jeezy, and that one got like that copyright. I was like, you serious? Are you serious about that? So that's why I try to avoid using Jeezy, because I was like, you're not gonna, at least at the time I wasn't monetized or anything like that, but I'm like, you're not Jeezy, you are not gonna steal from me. All right. You're not gonna, I know you might have to pay some legal bills coming up soon, but you're not gonna steal from me, Jeezy. Nope. So that's why I try to avoid using Jeezy as much as possible, but I still got the, and Antonio Walker says, I am on it. See, tonight we're holding you guys accountable. Make sure that you guys are still doing your work that you're supposed to be doing. All right. So Mitch says, in this economy, when people say that that's horrible advice, they might be more unhappy without the job. Let them know, Mitch. Let them know. Say the word, no beef. K Cooper just subscribed. Shout out to K Cooper. And K Cooper says, hey, Tech Coach Ralph. Hey to you as well, K Cooper. And I remember you were talking about your son and him he graduated something. Was it high school or was it college? He graduated something, but and doing Python. So shout out to you and your family doing amazing, amazing work. And I'm thinking about getting into tech. I'm trying. Well, guess what? You are with the right group of people. We're here. We're getting after it. And let us know what your interests are. And, you can connect with us in the Discord, whatever, and we will help you get on your way. And see, I told you Trap was going to know what I'm talking about. North Miami to Pembroke, then back to North Miami, then the commercial. I know your cab's built for it. Oh my goodness. And I had these gas guzzling cars. Oh, it was not the smartest thing. And K Cooper says, I'm gonna buy an Nate. Yep. And Jeezy, my husband, I'll ask him. You can use it when he gets. We got Spaces in the building. What's going on, Spaces? What it is. Legal bills is an understatement. Hey, don't talk about Trap's man like that. High school. Yeah. So he graduated high school and he already getting familiar with Python. That is what I always say, like, the earlier you can get these kids to start knowing these coding languages and start building stuff, they are in such a better opportunity. I wish I had understood coding when I was like 16, because when I went to college and taking that C++ course that I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, I would have been so much better. Oh my God. Like, your son is in a great spot. So I have at around 18 years old, already knowing coding languages and stuff like that. That is a great, great thing. And we got Frank Boots in the building speaking truths. Shout out to you, Frank Boots. All right, cool. That is it. Let's get into our next question of the night. We're working our way through it. We have good topics tonight. Some good topics, some great interaction in the chat. So much good insight. So much good insight. All right, let me get some water first. I don't understand how these people can stream for so long without drinking any water. How can people stream for so long, talk for so long, and they don't drink any water? Like, my throat would be like, oh, you need, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not used to it yet. All right, so let's get to our next one.
Another one.
Says, how do you structure your automated tests? Right? So that's our question. And it goes, I was talking to a dev about automated tests recently, and we were discussing different ways of structuring our tests, and I was curious how other people do it. Let me give you a scenario. we have a device that we want to apply different statuses to. We want to go through the different statuses and validate they are set correctly. The original test set up the device. The original test set up the device, set the test, verified the status, cleared the status, and verified the status was cleared. Then proceeded to do this for each status. Our framework will stop a test on any failure. So if the first status fails, the rest won't run. This is good for when everything works, but if one thing fails, we don't know if one or multiple things are broken. The other option is to make each status its own test. I could have a suite set up to make the device and a teardown or to delete it, or I could create and delete them individually for each test. There is more overhead to create and delete the device for each test, but it prevents the device from being in a bad state from a possible failed test. Anyways, I'm just curious to see what other people do. So that is an amazing question. That is a battle that I have had since I started automation testing. But it's all about strategy, right? So let's get our timer started. And okay, so how do we structure this test? So your car is saying make each test log each status every test. That is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, right? Because I also say there are different types of tests. And I think that these status tests, they can also be incorporated in like unit tests and stuff like that. I'm not sure what type of devices that you're testing, but it depends on what the device is doing, to be honest. What I would do, there are end-to-end tests that you can run to, all right, like you said, one type of test you're doing where you are setting like each status is going through the workflow. But if it fails, everything else fails. But you should have a beginning test, like a setup that runs at the beginning of every test that wipes the device to a brand new status, like from the very beginning. That's what I always do, because you can't allow whatever your test is to be stuck in a particular state. So what I would say is, for your end-to-end tests, you're going to say, all right, because we want one or two tests to go through each flow. And if everything runs great, perfect. But if something doesn't work, you want to know, because do the other statuses even matter if one step fails? So if the device gets in a bad state, when you start to run the new test, you say, all right, you do at the beginning and at the end. I've done this before in the past. At the beginning, I reset the device. And at the end, I also reset the device, so that regardless of when it's running, the device is reset, and then you can start fresh, clean tests. So that's my end-to-end test scenario, because I do want end-to-end tests. Not many of them, but I do want end-to-end tests, because you need to know that the whole workflow works. You can't have any gaps in the workflow. So what if you can get the device in the status of like, approved or whatever, but you can't get to the one before that? So it doesn't even matter if you can get to approved. Now, the other part, and it's tedious, but would you rather have easy, less complicated tests, but it doesn't work? Or would you want to have more overhead, but you know that your application, your software, your device works as it should? See, I lean on the latter side, because I don't want to have our software, like our critical core functionality, not working. So you're going to have to spend the extra time. You're going to have to go with the extra overhead to have comprehensive tests. So on the other option, when you're making each test its own, like each status its own test, you definitely want to do that. Say, okay, and you want to have multiple tests in each of those status. So when I get to whatever the first status is, you might have, it's closer to more of a unit test. You might have like 10 different tests testing that one particular status, and that's good. Now you might have another 10 different tests testing the next status, and that's good, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And that's how I do my automations. Like if I'm doing like a web automation, a mobile automation, whatever. I'm having like these little integration component tests. for this particular functionality. So around these little different statuses and stuff, I might have 5, 10 tests, like saying all the little, and I do that a lot with API tests, all the different statuses, all the different codes, the validations, all of that. And then when I go for like an end-to-end test where I'm going, all right, the whole pipeline, I'm only going to be checking for different. So I'll give an example real quick. So if I'm testing a website application and I want to check out the checkout process, right? End-to-end checkout, I would probably go, okay, I go to the homepage, I click on a product, or I go to the homepage, I click on a category, I click on a product in that category, then I click on add to cart, and then I would go to check out as a guest, but whatever the top flow is, check out as a guest, check out as a returning customer, whatever, and then I log in, and then I enter the credit card information, fake credit card information, of course, and I get all the way to the end. I either get a confirmation page or I get a credit card denied page, right? However the application works. And then another case would be like going through a similar workflow, but instead of maybe I can do like add to wish list, and then from the wish list, add it to the cart, and then now check out as a new customer, or as whatever I did the first time, I do a different flow. And then I get into and then now when I get to checkout, maybe I do checkout as a gift card or shipping to a different address, whatever those core functionalities are, right? That's my end-to-end test. But my little tests in between, I'm having unit tests, I'm having API tests, I'm having all these little tests that test all the little functionalities that it would take forever to do that full end-to-end test, which if let's say adding a product to the cart, something happens with that product, that means I don't actually get to checking out, like doing all the checkout stuff, but there are little tests that I can do for around validation, but I still want my full end-to-end test as well. So that is a little bit of insight into how the testing methodology goes. It's different from how developers would test like their unit tests. There is a whole framework to testing. Hopefully that insight helps Sydney as well. But that is my mentality when it comes to testing. You need both. It's not an or statement. It's an and statement. I need my end-to-end tests. That if they break, we can investigate that breakage. But I also want to have like those little unit tests and component tests, because now I can compare the two. Because if the end-to-end test fails at status A, and my little unit test fails at they pass like 5 tests pass for status A, but like 5 tests fail. So now I have a good understanding of where that falls into place. It's this part of this status is good, but now what's breaking is at like these other 5, and we need to investigate that. We need to create defects and stuff like that and report that and get that fixed up, right? So that is my thought. That is how I would approach the testing strategy that's how I structure my automated test, all right? So that being said, let's wrap that one up. All right. So that is my thoughts on that. All right. So let's go to your car set. All right. Before we go to your car, we have. All right. Oh wow, I missed a few. All right. So we have 18 viewers. Great work, my guy. Thank you so much, Spaces. And Frank Boots said, I'm one of those parents who told the kid to study computer science while he gets school paid for free. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Frank Boots. Is that really water? Yes, Mitch. That is really water. We're not doing this again, all right? It says, nope, that is not a Stanley Cup. This is a gift from my sister-in-law that says that I'm the best brother-in-law ever, right? I'm also the only brother-in-law. But I'm still the best brother-in-law ever, right? And K Cooper says, I need water all the time. Yep. And see, Spaces, I am not even going to acknowledge that, Spaces. We're not doing that again, right? And it says, he has like 100 different cups. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting the cup. Next stream, I'm going to use a different cup. And it's going to be a really cool cup. I haven't used it. You haven't seen it yet. But I used it like last year, and I haven't brought it back. It's going to be a really cool cup. look out for. You want to be here next room, all right? It says he has like 100 different cups. It's analytical in me, always observing. And your card says to the question, make each test log each status every test. Facts, 100%. And it says it's like daisy chaining nodes versus ring daisy chain, linear testing versus loop testing. Yup. And Ferris says, so would this be the software development lifecycle and dynamic/static testing? So the software development lifecycle includes a little bit more. The software testing, this is more similar to the software, not even the software testing lifecycle, because the software testing lifecycle is going to include like your smoke testing, your what is it? White box. I always confuse the two between the white box and the black box, but we'll just go with gray box testing. It's going to include that. It's going to include your regression testing, your retesting. But this is more geared towards automation testing, which honestly, Ferris, the whole testing, like because of Agile, that whole life cycle stuff has been modified to work in an Agile environment. So because we're always releasing in iterations, you don't see a lot of like the black. I always confuse the two, but one of them, I think the black box testing is the one that you don't see, you don't know the knowledge of the code that's happening behind it. But those are where like a lot of the unit tests and stuff come in. So no, that wouldn't be the black. Whatever. I always get those two confused. All right. Anyways, Ferris says then there's black box, white box, red box technique, or is this different? This is different. This is knowing how the application works and writing automation tests to guide your to validate it. So this is more like regression testing, I would say. And with you learning Python, in the Python course, there's a section on Selenium for automating websites and stuff like that. This is more like regression testing, not kind of like sits outside of the software development lifecycle. But yeah, so that's what it is, all right? So let's go over to our next one for tonight. See, honestly, Ferris, all these terminologies that they use for software testing, I don't think I've been in a company in the past 10 years where we actually talk about black box, white box, gray box testing. We just have a workflow and stuff like that. It sounds good for when you're taking these courses, like, oh yeah, there's all all these different types of testing. They tell you like these interview questions. I don't know if I've ever been in an interview where they asked me about like the different types of testing and stuff like that. The ones that I use regression testing a lot because we mostly run regression tests, and then we do a little bit of manual testing to test the actual application that we're building. And then we automate what we built so that we don't have to test it manually, and we can add it to our regression suite, and we can run it through our CI/CD pipeline, and it tells us exactly what failed, and we go and investigate that. That is so a lot of the stuff that you're actually doing is strategizing, innovating, and stuff like that. So it's we don't really use that terminology much. So that's why I never really have it at the top of my mind. Say like, oh, this is what white box is. This is what black box is. It's good to learn, but in day-to-day activity, you're not going to be using it. You're not going to be using those terminology that much. It's just like how do we get this? Like, is the software working? Yes or no? And what strategy are we going to approach to doing it? So yeah, that's what I can say about that. It says, but yeah, theory versus practice. And your car says, that's so true. That's a dead giveaway for someone who is newer. Older people explain what they mean, and younger people say the buzzwords. That's true. Like, and I have to tell the people that I'm coaching too, is like when I'm doing mock interviews with them and they start like going into like these terms, I'm like, can you just just tell me what you're doing and not like I can't parse what you're trying to say with the fancy words. Just tell me what you would do, So that's 100%. That's 100% facts, your car. All right, let's go to the next question. For real. All right, we are here.
Another one.
Do you feel like a code monkey? So there are some conceptions in the tech world that software engineers are only smart enough to code. What? I never heard of that before. Thinking about other things is completely prohibited. That's what managers are for. Yes, sure, some of the managers do a really good job at it, but lots of the top tech companies hire managers just for the managerial skills. By design, they are not supposed to understand coding well. I don't know. Um, why not just take the top performing manager at Walmart and land him in Google then? Okay. I have seen it so many times that people came to software engineering because they love the tech world, but slowly they just accept the fact that they have been put into a box. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Your job is to make sure it works, not to think beyond that. You should focus on very important decisions like how do we name this variable? Is the code generic enough? What if in the future we decide to change it? Let's try to imagine imaginary changes nobody has any plans to do. I don't think the world works this way. If you are smart enough to code, you are probably also smart enough to think about business decisions. I don't believe the BS that only managers and product managers are good at it. Do they really go to a special school about decision making that I haven't heard of? No. That they are just applying common sense and simple logic. They are confident enough to believe in their common sense. That's all. If you feel like you are slowly losing your passion because you have been put in a box, don't just accept it. You are not a monkey. What? You came into this world to enjoy what you were doing, not just to fill a very narrow position that suits your manager well. Wow. That was intense. That was intense. All right. So I am going to take exception to to a lot of things that this person said, but the part where you came to this world to enjoy what you're doing, I don't know if that's true. Is it a nice to have to enjoy what you're doing? Yes. But I think you're put in this world to, make a difference, to add value. And so anyways, let's go and start the timer, right? Here's the deal with this question. So I agree that some companies might treat the developers like that, but I think though a bigger part of the problem is that software engineers, they allow themselves to be dictated to and given what they should do instead of thinking. Like no one can stop you from thinking. No one can stop you from using your brain. I think that part of the problem that I think that happens in software engineering, software development and stuff like that is that you don't want to be held liable and accountable for the work that you do. So it's easier for someone to tell you to do something instead of saying, actually, I think that this is the best option. And I think, and here's why. But guess what? To be that type of leader, it's going to take extra time, extra effort. Might have some longer days. But if it's easier to just pass it off on somebody else, and I think that's the bigger problem. I don't think that the software developers are code monkeys. I think that the companies would appreciate if they would actually put more thought into the software that they were building. Here's an example. I heard this example from Robert C. Martin, Uncle Bob, where when Volkswagen was going through its craziness with some defects in the cars that I think they were killing people and stuff like that, and the CEO of Volkswagen was brought before Congress. Who got the blame for what happened? Who got the blame? The CEO threw the software engineers under the bus. So, if that's the case, if you're going to get the blame one way or the other, you better use your best judgment. You better give your best insight and think about what are the ways we can do this better. What are the ways that we can do this better? What are the ways that we know that we're not gonna? Isn't it like part of the doctor's oath or something like that? Do no harm. Well, software engineers also can do great harm, and they because that's what a doctor might harm one person. Not saying it's intentional, but they might harm one person, two people, whatever. They might have malpractice or something. But a doctor is not developing code where it can affect millions of people. Thinking about the Volkswagen example. How many like when you see a recall happen for a car, how many cars get recalled? When we see these security breaches that are happening, how many people get affected? Those are software engineers, QA engineers, etc., who are causing that harm. Not intentionally. It's not intentional. But if you take the approach of, I am just going to sit here and do my job and not think about the extra stuff, that's when you're gonna hate your job, and then you're gonna start feeling like that code monkey. But I'll tell you this: with the team that I work with, the engineers are the ones who are coming up with the solutions. We have the reign to come up with the solutions. We're actually one of the model teams. I had another Q engineer reach out to me saying, "Hey, like I see your team is doing this. Can I come to one of your can you tell me how you guys do this?" I'm like, "Hey, want to come to our stand up? And you can see how we run things." And he goes, "Yeah, oh, I really like how you guys do A, B, and C. I'm gonna try to implement that with my team." But I think that if and it's not a one person thing. It has to be a team, because let's say there's one engineer who's taking an initiative, but everyone else is not. Kind of reminds me of what I'm seeing in a certain sports league right now. Everyone is coming for this one new person, when that person is shining a light on this organization, right? So I'm like, you have to like come together as a team to make it happen. And you guys can take over when you guys are the ones designing the solution, because you guys know better. We engineers know better. The product manager, the managers, whatever, they can come and say, "Hey, this is the direction that the company is looking to go in. How can we make that happen?" Instead of saying, "Okay, we're gonna write all the stories, and you just have to do it." That's when you get into that code monkey territory. And I was at a company where going back to that other question, when is your cue to leave? Going back to that other question, when I was like, I think it's time to go, because when the developers, they're just like, "All right, I'm just gonna do whatever you tell me." We don't put any input in it, and the developers don't put any thought behind it. The QAs don't put any thought behind it, and I'm like, well, I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. I want to win, so I was like, all right, I'm out of here. But now at the company that I'm at, we develop the solutions for the company. They'll come to us and say, "Hey, we want to save this much money, or we want to do this, we want to do that." I'm like, "All right, cool. Let's figure out how to do it." And we always win in the end. We always win in the end. All right. So I'm gonna wrap that one up. All right, let's check the chat real quick, see what we got going on. I think I got a new person in the chat as well. I will check that out real quick. All right, so Paris says, "Speak English, damn it." For like, I'll give you one more example. I was in this Discord like last year, and I asked a basic question. The question was, if we're building this application, and I said, all right, this input, talking about inputs, Ferris, you should know exactly what I'm talking about now. If we have this input that this input can take between 11 and 48, how would you test it? And I'm looking for numbers. I started getting paragraphs of explanations, and I'm like, so. And it was more, you know how I feel about words that have more than 2 syllables. And it's like these more than 2 syllable words. I'm like, okay, I'm looking for numbers. You're giving me words. Like, what are the numbers And when I'm all right, cool. So what's the actual answer? None of them got it right. None of it got it right. So I'm like, we need to focus on the work, on the experience, like so that you can get hands on. I need you to actually be testing stuff and not just stuff that like I don't know. That's just me, right? And we got Shanaz in the chat. Welcome. How are you doing tonight?
I appreciate
First time talking to Shanaz. Says, hi, I got selected in MNC where I have two options. I can choose DevOps engineer role or Gen AI engineer to start my career. So could you please help me choose which one has a better future? Ooh, that is a tough one. That's a tough one. So I would have to see the curriculum of what it is, because the thing is with DevOps engineers, I would say this, a lot, like at a time, maybe like 10 years ago, DevOps engineer was popping. There's still some positions for it, but nowadays it's getting integrated with a lot of other positions. So as a QA engineer, I do some DevOps work. The software engineers do some DevOps work, stuff like that, because we're deploying and stuff like that. We don't necessarily come up with all the infrastructure, but we can if we have to. So it just depends. Now, as far as the AI, I think it would depend on what's the curriculum and stuff like that. It just depends. I think we need a little bit more context. But yeah, I would need a little bit more context about that. Your car says that depends on you. Do you want to work with coding and language in DevOps or data and machine learning in AI? That is a good point. They are both lucrative, but AI has the hype, so it's more money in it right now. That is true. And I think it also depends, though, in how long is this program that you're taking, because you're still gonna you're gonna need both. I just think the approach to DevOps is tricky, but we're actually gonna be starting DevOps very, very soon on Sunday afternoons. So like at one point I thought about being a DevOps engineer, and then I looked at I did some investigating. Yeah, I'll stick to QA, but I'll still do DevOps. I'll still do DevOps as well. But I'm like a hybrid. I can do anything. I can do anything that I set my mind to. Right. That's what I always tell myself in the morning. And Mitch says I was pretty much going to say the same thing. Also, Google is your friend. Look at the jobs growth and demand. Exactly. It says. But of course, I would say AI engineer. Of course you would, Mitch. Of course you would. Tune in tomorrow's software exploration. We're going to be talking about data engineering. Salute to McCall, salute to Mitch, salute to Mr. Lot, my data people. Awesome. And King of Bridges, that was a good question. Awesome. Yeah. Why are you crying, Ferris? Why are you crying? All right. Let's get into our next question of the night. But before we do that, if you haven't done so already, do me a big favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. Ooh, DevOps, that would be a tough one for me, because I love the coding, but I also love data. I wonder, is there a DevOps engineer, a DevOps AI engineer? That would be a good one. Anyways, I digress. Let's get to our next one for tonight.
Another one.
So, what is the goal of software testing? That's what everybody wants to know. What is the goal? What is the purpose of software testing? I've been a manual tester for some time. My work involves writing test cases with different scenarios and doing functional testing. I picked up Python and Selenium in the past 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks? What have you been waiting for, my friend? I'm really enjoying it, but I'm asking myself questions. Is automation testing all about locating elements with their selectors and then running code in VS Code? VS Code, yuck. And so, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I am sorry. I did not mean to say that out loud. In case VS Code wants to sponsor the show, I am sorry. I didn't mean to say that out loud. But my heart will always go on for IntelliJ, or not IntelliJ, but JetBrains products. I'm just saying, JetBrains, if you want to hit me up for a sponsorship, let me know, because I use your products all the time, JetBrains. I digress. ADD. All right, let's keep going. It's been a long day. All right. So it says, I'm really enjoying, but I'm asking myself, is automation all about locating elements with their selectors and then running code in VS Code, and then in the browser window, watch the computer clicking buttons on its own? I mean, I want to do different scenarios now. I want to ease my testing process. I check manually the same functionalities for all the users, and now I can do it efficiently using code. I'm imagining I have to write different code, and I'm ready for it. I also have figured out that I want to add my code to GitHub repository for the app of my company so that my code and developers can get merged. What is the overall goal here? I could have asked ChatGPT, but I wanted to ask real people. The real is here. I want to ask real people who have done it. I want to know the exact process. All right, so let's start a timer. Being that you've been doing Selenium for the past 2 weeks, I'm going to guess that you have a lot to learn. So here's what I'm going to guess that your automation code looks like this. You have a file that says, let's say we do form, like fill out form flow. And you say, all right, in this one Python file, you have, I set up my driver, and then I open the browser. I click on, let's say, contact us form. And you have all your selectors in there, right? And then you say, so I fill out, I click on this link for contact us form. And then I fill out the name, like the first name, the last name, the phone number, the email address, a message. I click on the submit button. And then I get a confirmation page, and I validate the confirmation page. I'm going to guess your scripts look something like that in VS Code, unfortunately. Or, damn it, I keep saying it. Why am I such a hater? Why am I such a hater? Terrible. I'm not gonna, just like AD won't get his 30 million. I'm not gonna get my 5,000. I'm not gonna get my 5,000. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I digress. So here's the thing. There is so much more to automation than that. Because there are, number one, you don't want your selectors. You don't want all this code in one file. You wanna build a framework. You want to have a framework where you're gonna have your code segmented. So let's say the code for opening up the browser, the code for closing down the browser, doing all that type of stuff is going to be in one area, right? Then you're gonna have the page object model where you can reuse the same selectors over and over and over again. So it's not just about locating selectors or elements with their selectors. It's about organization. It's about methodology. And with that, when you have your organization, your methodology, then you're gonna say, okay, I need to, for example, I had a technical project when I was applying for this one company, right? Which I totally disagree with them not giving me, not wanting to move on, because that was the best automation. And digressing again. I'm sorry, K Cooper. I'm sorry, right? Anyway, but you want to have it segmented, and then you want to be able to use the same selectors over and over again. Because what I do is, with the page object model, I will go into this one, let's say they change something on the website or in the application. I just go into one file, I change it in one place, it updates it for everywhere. All right? So you want to have that. And then you want, sometimes part of that project that I was working on, I had to, they said, all right, loop through every single product and capture the name or something. And I had to do that. So you're going to have to learn about loops. You're going to have to learn about if statements. You're going to have to learn about switches. You're going to have to actually learn Python. You're going to have to learn how to code. It's not like, oh, I just started using Selenium in 2 weeks, and then is it just this? It is a whole process. It is a whole strategy, a whole methodology. I was telling Ferris this the other day. There's the logic portion to it, and then there's a syntax portion to it. They both matter. They both matter. So you need to get your actual logic down, like thinking like, okay, and what I always say is like, take it away from the code that you're learning and say, how would I do this outside? Like the example I gave Ferris the other day, you have two backpacks. You want to get the content of backpack A into backpack B and the content of backpack B into backpack A. How would you do that? And when I give him that example, boom, figured it out. So it's more than just what you're saying here, right? That's the end result of what happens, but you need to have clean code. You need to have organized code. You can't just have it all over the place because you're gonna end up your code's gonna end up looking like spaghetti. Spaghetti, pasta is good, but not in code, right? Not in code. You don't want spaghetti code. It's a mess, and you're gonna get like the pasta sauce everywhere. And so the goal of software testing, the goal of automation testing, is to have regression tests that you can run it whenever you need. Like at work, we probably run our regression suites I probably run it like 5 times a day. The developers are probably like they're running it too. Everyone has access to it. So it's about building the infrastructure for testing. It's about making it accessible for other people, making it reliable. Because anybody can write an automated test. Anybody can write some Python code. But is it reliable? Is it trustworthy? Is your automation code loyal? See, going back to where we started, loyalty, right? Write your cart, loyalty. Anyways, I'm just playing around now. All right, let's wrap that one up. All right, so let's check you know what? I'm gonna go to the next question real quick, and then we'll check the chat because Hagover said I was getting distracted, so I have to make up for that, right? So, actually, this is a really good one too. This is a really good one. So let's go to number 7. And let's talk about that one. And then I'll go to the chat. Then we'll finish up with our last question. And then we will be out. Right? So let's go with
another one.
So this one said, looking for business-minded friends. Right? So, because I am a 20-year-old male. I'm a 20-year-old male currently working 2 jobs and getting wage garnished at 1. What? That is crazy. At 20 years old, how can you be getting your wage garnished at 20 years old? I was looking for people with ambition and drive like myself. So I'll say this. Working 2 jobs at 20 years old, that doesn't seem like that much ambition and drive, but I digress. I have no idea what I want to start up yet, but I just want to meet more people and have business startup conversations. I'm open to any suggestion or advice. I want to get out of the 9-to-5 life and start up my own thing with a team of people that motivates each other and strives for success every day. All right. So why did I want to talk about this? Because let's start a timer. I want to talk about this because, all right. So where I got this question from, right? So many people were posting, oh yeah, let's do it. You know, they started a Discord group and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, kids, bitch. At 20 years old, 5 kids, bitch. But they're like, oh yeah, let's do this. Like, and they were all hyped up for it. And that reminds me of this QA Discord that I had joined like last year. And they were like so hyped up for it. And then now, quiet, dead. And that's one of the reasons that I don't start my own Discord. But when I was reading that, I'm like, okay, they're so like hype about it and stuff. But some red flags that I see. I have no idea of what I want to start up yet, but I want to have conversations about what we can start up. And for me, I'm always of the idea of why don't we, like, not even we, why don't you come up with what is it that you want to do? And if your idea is good, then people will follow. Instead of like, because here's what's going to happen. And I hate to be the one to say this. And I hope that I'm wrong. right? But I'm right more times than I'm wrong. So that means I'm right 51% of the times, and I'm wrong 49% of the time. But who's counting? Who's counting, right? But here's what I envision is going to happen. They're going to get into this Discord, and they're going to like, oh, they're just going to start throwing out ideas. They're going to have some meetings and stuff like that, and then it's going to be a graveyard. Because I, for one, I pioneer my way, and then I have amazing people who come in, join it. And we have fun. We come up with ideas. We do agile training together. We do the men lie, the women lie, the numbers manipulate show together. That I'm not going to rush anymore, I promise. And we just have fun. Like, we do good stuff. But when I read this, like 20 years old, working 2 jobs, getting garnished at 1, but you don't want to work 9 to 5. How do you, like, to me, don't get me wrong. There's some people who are able to do it. They're very business minded. But when I read this, I'm like, I have reservations, because I don't want to just have conversations. I want to do stuff, and I've always like grown by doing things and say, oh, you know what? I have an idea. Let me start it, and we run it up from there. So a lot of the stuff that I see started, and I've even used some of my own examples. When I started I learned Python because it's so funny. I learned Python because I was on YouTube, and it says, oh, you can make X amount of dollars a day doing some crazy, I don't know, some like AI. I don't remember what it was, right? But you need to learn Python and do it. I'm like, all right, cool. So me and a friend of mine, we were talking about it. I'm like, all right, let's learn Python. And we said, all right, we're gonna meet every week. We're gonna talk about what we're learning about, all that good stuff. When I learned Python, because the goal was, all right, we're gonna do the 100 days of Python first, and then we're gonna do the machine learning course next, data engineering course next, and then we'd have all the tools that we need in order to do whatever it is that we have to do, right? I learned Python, learned like the whole course, right? And started learning about data in the first course, and then went over into the next course, and I learned a lot about data engineering and stuff like that, NumPy, pandas, pyplotlibs. And what happens is that they dropped off, and I kept going. But now, because I kept going, I didn't end up doing the thing that I saw on YouTube, but I'm working in Python every single day. I'm able to help people. I'm able to coach people. I'm able to take on more projects. I'm able to like come up with different ideas. I had one of my, the lead engineer reach out to me for a script that I wrote the other day on some AWS type stuff where we're using the Python Boto 3 library connected to AWS, going through through some jobs and all this crazy stuff that we did, right? And it's like, wow, this is so helpful. It's gonna save so much time. But because I was like, I like, let's do this. Let's learn Python. I kept going, and I'm not really sure what they're doing, but it's so. My thought behind it is get started on something, and if it's good, people will follow. And even like it could still be good and nobody follows, but you could like at some point, if it's good, people are gonna want to join in. They might want to buy your application. They might who knows, right? But when I hear these type of conversations, like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. I have a lot of ambition and drive, but I don't want to work a 9 to 5. Mitch said it best the other day, and he says it again here, right? Mitch says, where was it? He says, your job is your investment partner, your first one. Your job is your first investment partner. And I would be looking for, like, because I love my 9 to 5 because I have so many benefits. I'm able to work and learn a bunch of stuff, and then I'm able to take that and apply it to what I do here with you guys. And then what I do here with you guys, I'm able to apply that to work. And it's a loop. It's a loop, right? So that is my thoughts behind it. Looking for business-minded friends? Well, I think you should be business-minded yourself and start something, and then those friends will come. Don't look for them. They will come. I don't look for friends. They just come. And then we run it up together. Lead and they'll follow. Lead and they'll follow. All right? So that is my thoughts on that one. All right, let's get that one off the screen. And we might end it up with this one. But let me read the chat real quick. And I think we'll end it with this one. I'll save the next question for next week. The last question for next week. We'll push that over because it is late. It's already 10 o'clock over here. And I'm getting tired. You know, I don't know. Like, I'm not a professional streamer yet. Like, I've been up since like 5:15 this morning. Went and beat up some people, and then to work. You know, long day. All right, so let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up today. Let's see what we got. We got K Cooper caught me being distracted. You know, some people get distracted on one thing. I get distracted on software distracts me. All right, K Cooper, I'm sorry, software distracts me. It's weird, but you know that's what distracts me. And Ferris says, actually learn to code. I apologize. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry, Ferris. It says GPT. Loyalty before royalty. You know, I had a friend. He got that tattooed on his arm. I think it was around like when I don't want to. I think LeBron James made him get the tattoo of loyalty before royalty. I think that's what happened. All right. And your car says a public service announcements after hours in 20 minutes. I will see you guys at after hours. So make sure you get there. And Mitch says he's getting his wages cardiness at one job because he might have 5 kids. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 kids. That is unfortunate. And Ferris says, I've seen it before. And Mitch says, as always, your job is your first investment partner. That is a fact. And your car says, and 4 baby mamas. Ooh, that's tough. That is tough. And why we have to hate on Felicia? Huh? Why? Shout out to all the Felicias out there, right? I actually know a Felicia, and they're a very awesome person. I'm just saying. And let's see. So I was working 2 jobs at 20, though. I was working at 20. What was I doing at 20? I was working 2 jobs at 22. At 20 as well. Not at 22, but at 20 as well. But I was working at the park. I was working in tech support. I was going to school, and I was learning how to do web design to do that on the side as well. So, is define working? Define working. That's a thought. Define working, right? And your car says, Mitch, Clark Kent and Superman are not 2 different jobs. One is a calling, the other is a cover. Oh, okay. That's a good one. That is a good one. All right. And it says, facts. More like 3. I was also Bruce Wayne. So you're a little got that split personality thing going over there. Mitch, did you ever see the movie where this guy, man, I have to find the name of it, but I saw it on Netflix. He had like this split personality thing where I think I think someone tried to break into his house, and then he ended up having like a split personality. It was a crazy movie. I have to find the name of it. I watched it a long time ago, but it was a good one. Let's see what else we got. And it says Ralph's mother-in-law is named Felicia. Ooh. And we got Rod Brown in the building. Says, what up, tech coach? What up, Rod Brown? What's up, Rod Brown? Always a blessing to have you here. And lastly, he says, I was at the hospital and grocery store. You would have thought I had 5 kids. Oh my goodness. Mitch, do you have 5 kids out there, Mitch? Do you have 5 kids out there, Mitch? Are you calling me crazy? You know what? That always reminds me of the Wayans Brothers episode. See, I'm going way back into the vault. The Wayans Brothers episode when I think it was Sean calling Marlon crazy, and he's bouncing up and down on the chair. Says, "Don't call me crazy." That was a great episode. The good old days. The Wayans Brothers, the Jamie Foxx show. What else was there? Family Matters was a little before Wayans Brothers and Jamie Foxx. But anyways, I digress. So It says Mitch has 5 X's in rotation. And Mitch says he has 0 kids. He says, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Oh, that's a soundbite to get. And Malcolm, yes, Malcolm and Eddie was one too. Yep. I didn't watch Malcolm and Eddie that much, though. But that was actually, I did like Eddie Griffin, though. And it says, never, I am a ghost. All right. Anyways, that is it for tonight. I'm going to save the last question for next week because it's been a very, very long night. And I don't know if I'll be able to think through the last one, right? But, that was definitely one saving for next week. Anyways, that being said, we're going to wrap it up here tonight. Thank you guys so much. Oh, Fresh. See, but Fresh Prince was before. See, K. Cooper, it's your car's fault. It is your car's fault. All right, because he like when we started talking about the good old days, and we started talking about wrestling with WCW, NWO. When the WWE was WWF, Shawn Michaels, the Generation X. I just go in a whole nother zone, right? Fresh Prince. See, but Fresh Prince was a little bit before those other shows were, because I think like Fresh Prince and Family Matters, they paved the way for like Malcolm and Eddie and for the other ones that I mentioned earlier. But anyways, and you know what? For you, your cart, we're gonna get this.
Are you ready?
All right. Anyway, it says, if that's true, my checks would be garnished too. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. So you guys know on the Q&A show, I always have to ask this question. It's my question to you. The question is,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I am very, very entertained. So much fun. So much great questions tonight. So much great fun with you guys in the chat. I really, really appreciate you guys. But you guys know that yesterday's price is not today's price, and today's price is not tomorrow's price, because
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
the price of the brick is always going up. But that's why we continue to level up. We continue to run it up. All right. So with that said, I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. This is Tech Coach Ralph with another Q&A episode. We are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Spartans! What is your profession? You should know your role and shut your mouth!